In the news this week, Romanian international Ilie Dumitrescu of West Ham and Everton's Swiss international fullback Mark Hottiger have finally been granted work permits. This follows a long campaign by their clubs to have the original decision overturned. New rulings now relax the restrictions on foreign nationals moving between Premier League clubs. Another continental still hoping to move is Arsenal's Danish international John Jensen. He had been expected to rejoin his former club Brøndby on a free transfer. This will end his 4-year spell at Highbury. Meanwhile, Bolton's out-of-favour Dutch midfielder Richard Snakers is also on the move. He's leaving strugglers Bolton to join First Division West Bromwich Albion. They're also involved in a relegation struggle. In Germany this week, England's last representatives in Europe, Nottingham Forest, faced the German super club Bayern Munich, and despite losing, Steve Chettle scored an all-important away goal. This was in response to Bayern strikes from Jürgen Klinsmann and Mehmet Scholl. It gives Forest every chance in the return leg at the City Ground. And finally, the latest odds on the title race, and not surprisingly, Manchester United are the new favourites. They're now 6-5 on, and after their impressive run, Liverpool's odds have also been slashed. On now to the weekend and to Upton Park, East London, home of West Ham United. Always one of the country's most popular clubs, the Hammers have been enjoying a resurgence lately. They've lost just once in 7 games. West Ham's run has taken them to a position of relative safety, something that must be eyed enviously by today's opponents, Middlesbrough. Alarm bells are ringing loudly on Teesside for Brian Robson's team after the worst run in the club's history. They've taken only 1 point now from the last possible 30. Middlesbrough are 9 points above the danger area, but must arrest this depressing slide soon, or they could suffer the same fate as Norwich City last season. At least the arrival of another Brazilian, Branco, alongside Juninho, has given the club new hope. Your match commentator, John Helm.
Well, the Hammers have no fewer than 9 foreigners on their books at present, and one of them, Mark Reaper, the Danish international centre-back, has been withdrawn today because of a stomach bug. On the credit side, fullback Tim Breaker returns for the first time since December the 23rd, when the Hammers lost 4-2 at Middlesbrough. The news that's brought the biggest cheer of the day, though, is that Romanian Ilie Dumitrescu is in the squad for the first time after the granting of his work permit earlier this week. He is one of the 3 substitutes. Middlesbrough's 2 Brazilians, Juninho, who only returned from the Olympic qualifying tournament in Argentina 48 hours ago, and Branco also have to settle for places on the bench. Nigel Pearson, Borough's captain, returns to the centre of defence after suspension, and it's a timely return because his regular partner at the back, Steve Vickers, is out. Middlesbrough quite desperate to end this awful run that they've had. Brian Robson can't put his finger on it, as the side was doing so well. In fact, they got away to a flying start to the season. They'd kept 6 clean sheets in their first 10 games and conceded only 4 goals, but it's suddenly all gone sour for them. They are attacking the goal to our left, Middlesbrough. And that is Robbie Mustoe, and that is Derek White. And away through the middle goes Craig Hignett. Confidence a big problem for a side like Middlesbrough when they've suddenly lost their way, and it will be very much in the minds of their supporters that twice in their history Middlesbrough have been relegated after making good starts to a season. First touch of the ball for Ludek Mikloško, Czech-born goalkeeper who's seeking British citizenship. Wants to become naturalised British. Slight reorganisation for the Hammers at the back today, with Breaker returning and Reaper out. Breaker goes to right back. Oh, what a desperate mistake to make, and a goal, surely. Calamity start for Middlesbrough keeper Walsh. Dowie gets the goal, Cottee gets the credit for putting the pressure on the former Manchester United goalkeeper, and that is the sort of horrendous mistake that goalkeepers have nightmares about. In only the 2nd minute, West Ham take the lead, and there was no danger whatsoever. When the ball was rolled back by Neil Cox, why did he try to tee it up there? Cottee applied the pressure, nicked it towards Ian Dowie, who popped it into the empty net. An absolutely horrendous mistake for the goalkeeper to make. He tries to tee it up there. He can't handle the ball anyway. Cottee closes him down, and it's all punished in the end by Ian Dowie. The flick through might be dangerous. Potts clears. Morris. Good running here from Mustoe to make himself available. He skipped Bishop, pulls it back, chance of an equaliser. Great save from McClochko, because that was struck with some venom by Craig Hignett, and a superb response from the Czech goalkeeper. It's the best Middlesbrough have conjured up so far, and it required instant action. Hignett here, the man who was denied a goal. So Middlesbrough have their first corner. Derek White, the big defender's in there for it. Well, I wonder what the Brazilians made of that second-minute goal. Not often you see one like that. Franco must be wondering if the journey was worthwhile. Here goes Hughes. Cottee's away right, here he is. Now he's up there too, still Cottee will try from distance, and it whizzes by the right-hand upright. Fine try from Tony Cottee. He's in a bit of form at the moment, Cottee. 2 goals in his last 3 games. Taking on the men in red there and firing it just wide. Dowie really got some purchase on that header, and Cottee, he made a hash of it, and it nearly produced a second goal. Potts had to come across there after Fleming's mistake, and the look on Pearson's face tells it all. Here's Cottee. It was Pearson himself the mistake, and then it's put out of play. But they're all over the place at times back there, Middlesbrough. They suffered a dreadful hammering 5-0 at Chelsea, not far away from here recently. Dix is in for this one. The keeper's in trouble, out from under the bar. Bilic couldn't turn on it, and Middlesbrough survived, but are very fortunate not to be 2 down. So inside the last minute of the first half at Upton Park, West Ham a goal to the good, and trading passes down the right-hand side. Williamson has Breaker outside. There's the cross. Oh, it should have been 2. And again, Tony Cottee totally unmarked. Rose so well, but put it the wrong side of the upright. Williamson picked him out beautifully. No central defender anywhere near Tony Cottee, who should have scored. West Ham have lost their rhythm in this half, and they've got some defending to do again now, which Bilic does well. But Rowland will have some pressure applied on him by Barmby. Well, a highly competitive player and a bit of grit and determination there on the face of Nicky Barmby. And West Ham are going to make the change that will please the crowd. A snapshot there of the debut for Ilie Dumitrescu. And a huge ovation for the Romanian World Cup star, who at long last makes his debut for the Hammers. He's had a long delay waiting for his work permit. He's waited another 58 minutes today, and now he's on the field, Dumitrescu. The miskick by Pearson, who then, rather ungainly fashion, puts it out. Dumitrescu. Nice little touch from him. This is Hughes. They've only 2 in the middle, though. So Bishop tees up Dix, who hammers it through. Took a deflection, must surely be number 2. No! How did Dowie miss? Incredible miss, really. Although he was offside anyway. He'll probably be relieved, too. When it was teed up for Dix, he smashed it in. It took a deflection off Pearson. Dowie seemed certain to score from there, but got it the wrong side of the upright. thing is that since Juninho's arrival that Middlesbrough's form has dipped, and yet there's no question about him being a quality player, of course. He proved that over here last year in the Umbro Cup for Brazil. And there he is. He's going into the centre of midfield. Just tucked in behind Barmby. Hendry will play up front. And there's a header from Dowie. And an appeal for handball, and it's given two. Cox looks as though he can't believe it. Mr. Reid had no doubt. A wry smile on the face of Neil Cox. But what an opportunity this is for West Ham. Dowie with the header. Now let's have a look from this angle. Neil Cox coming across. Oh, the right arm, the right shoulder maybe, is seen by the referee to have ushered the ball along. And that's a catastrophic mistake for a young defender to make. No matter how long they protest, it's still going to be a penalty, which Julian Dix will seek to dispatch into the Middlesbrough net. Julian Dix has missed once this season, but he's had a pretty good record. 5 penalties he has converted. And this is Julian Dix. And it's 2-0. "63 minutes played. Dix belts the ball beneath Gary Walsh. And the Hammers are well on their way, it would seem, at 2-0. His 8th goal of the season. He didn't make a mistake, he just crashed it along the ground. Walsh went the wrong way, the ball went beneath him, and Middlesbrough are in dire straits. And he gets a kiss from a colleague. Branco's pushed it into the path of Fleming now. And there might be a space up the middle for Hughes here. On he goes, the keeper's up the line. Great chance this one for Hughes to get the third. And Pearson comes across well. And there was a flick, fingertip save there by the keeper to deny Hughes. Good defending from Pearson, who got across quickly, just to make it difficult for Hughes, but it still required a save from Walsh. Dumitrescu hoping to be on the end of this one, and well, there was a foul, and it was by the West Ham player, Williamson. So Branco for Middlesbrough. Now for Barmby. Whatever they do, they've got to do it quickly. Hendry, offside. Well, he's got over 100 goals in his career, John Hendry. He certainly knows where the net is, but just broke a little too eagerly. 2 minutes of time has been added by Mr. Reid already. And Dumitrescu here. Ooh, the bounce was almost awkward for Pearson. The Hammers have the throw-in. Pretty safe in saying they've got the points too. Speed it up, says the linesman. Don't think why, to be honest, at 92 minutes played. Chance for one last cross, maybe. Breaker. He doesn't bother. West Ham taking nothing to chance. Offside. And indeed, that's the final act of this game, which has produced another convincing win for West Ham United, whose improvement continues. Ian Dowie was gifted a goal on only 2 minutes by goalkeeper Gary Walsh. An awful mistake for the keeper to make so early in the game. He recovered his composure. He's beaten again by a Julian Dix penalty midway through the second half. And not even the arrival of the Brazilians could save Middlesbrough. The West Ham fans go home happy with a side that should be now in the top half of the table. The final score at Upton Park, West Ham United 2, Middlesbrough 0.
How is the confidence, your confidence and the team's confidence?
No, my confidence is still quite high because I still believe that when I've got me what I class as my full strength side out, we'll get good results. There's still a long way to go, and I'm sure we'll get good results from now to the end of the season.